Hello, it's Saturday night and welcome to another show of ESC Fan TV. Yes, tonight we are going to be reviewing Croatia, Romania, Lithuania and France. It's going to be a fantastic show. As always, please do ding-a-dong the bell. Click like and subscribe. We would love you to be notified the next time our content comes online as well. And don't forget to get involved in the chat room as well. Tonight, we've kind of switched things up a little bit. And tonight we've put Elliot in the chat room. Hey, Elliot.
Hello. Yeah, I've gone back to my standard position, which is fine after Thursday. Like, you do it, have fun. But yes, I'm in the chat room, so post your opinions and, we'll use them as a discussion point as always, so...
Hey. Also joining us this evening, we've got my fantastic co-host. It's Stu. Hey, Stu.
Evening, Tom. Ready to talk about 4 more songs?
Oh, absolutely. And 4 cracking songs as well,
Absolutely,
I have to
4
say.
crackers. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Now, also joining us this evening, we've got Martin. Hey, Martin.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here for once. Not been able to do this for a while.
Yes, and also a little bird tells me that some of your favourite songs are being covered this evening as well.
Indeed. There's 2 of my top 10. And the other 2 aren't too far away either. So, yeah, it's good selection to be a substitute for.
Hey, fantastic. Also joining us this evening, we've got the lovely Donna. Hey, Donna.
Hello, everyone. I'm not Greta Thunberg this evening, although the piggies might suggest it. But hello, looking forward to tonight. 2 of my top 10 are also on tonight's show, so this should be good.
Hey, joining us as well, we've got the lovely Phil and Michelle. Hey, Phil and Michelle.
Hello. Hello. I've got all 4 in my top 39, and I've got £10 on all of them.
You've been listening to Steve for advice again. Also joining us this evening as well, we've got, say 2, we've really got 3 debut panelists. First of all, it's a big hello to Terry. Hey, Terry.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm from the United Kingdom. I come to you live from near Heathrow Airport. You can't hear many planes, though. They're all on lockdown. Lovely to be with you all.
Funny that. Can't hear many planes at the moment. I don't think you're going to be hearing planes for a little while there at the moment. Great to have you on the show, though, Terry.
No, unfortunately not. Thank you very much. It's really nice to be here. I've been a fan for Eurovision since I was 12 years old, and I'm a singer, actor, dancer in musical theatre, and I think my career actually happened because of my love of Eurovision. It all kind of, my obsession of Eurovision took me into the world of showbiz.
Hey, fantastic. And also joining us, occupying the centre square this evening, it's the lovely Hayley and Matt. Hey, and welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us.
So, and we're looking forward to hearing your opinions throughout the show as well. Don't forget to keep the chat going. I noticed there's loads of comments in the chat room as well. But aside from that, Stu, let's get the show started.
So let's start tonight's show off with Croatia. Croatia are sending Albina to Eurovision 2021 this year. 25 appearances for Croatia at Eurovision, 18 times to the final. Their best result was back in 1996 and 1999, finishing 4th. It's fair to say over the last 13 or so years, it's not been plain sailing for Croatia. They've struggled. They've made the final just 4 times. That said, this year they've gone all out. They've brought in Albina. She won Dora, which is the national final in Croatia, by some distance. It's an up-tempo number, and it's about steering clear of toxic relationships. In general, Croatia are 21st in the betting to win Eurovision this year, which is about as high as it's been, but it's still 101 to 1. So let's find out what our panel think of Tick-Tock. I think we should go straight to Hayley and Matt first, actually. I think we should bring in our first newcomers. Hayley and Matt, this is a kind of an 80s inspired bop from Croatia. How do you see this doing?
I really like it. I don't know whether it'll qualify, to be honest, but I hope it does. And it's your favourite one, isn't it? Almost.
It's getting there. It's one of my top bangers for definite. We're talking about top entries into the whole top 10 and so on. This is one of mine. I really love this song.
The music video, I think, does a lot better than the actual live stage performance that was originally posted as well by them. So hopefully they'll bring a lot more to the Rotterdam stage than perhaps they did in the national final.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, and interestingly, it's sandwiched between Norway and Belgium. Donna, two songs which are both ballads, and this is clearly going to stand out. She certainly can work a performance live on stage. Great vocal, decent choreography in the national final. What do you think Albina needs to do to stand a chance of qualifying? Because let's face it, Croatia have done particularly badly over the last few years or so.
It's a difficult one because it's going to be sandwiched possibly between two very in-your-face performances on the stage. I mean, you've got Tix with his devils and his big wings and looking very dramatic, and then who knows what the Belgians are going to actually bring, whether they'll bring something straightforward or whether they're going to go big, great expectations like the video. I just hope she brings a Johnny Cash t-shirt for that one. So I think if she just performs it as she performed it in the national final, I think it'll stand out enough because it'll bring the level back down to earth again, and it'll be a really hard-hitting pop song. And I think she could do well like that.
Thanks, Donna. Elliot, bring you in from a choreography from a choreography perspective. What did you make of the national final performance, and what do you think Albina needs to do to stand a chance in what many are saying is an incredibly tough semi-final in Rotterdam?
I think what she did on stage mirrored what the vibe of the song was perfectly. I know some people saying 80s and that decade's been thrown around a lot this year. This feels really, really current and like in the British charts now. Like her voice and her stage presence, it's just like, you know, an Ava Max or a Dua Lipa, which I think will work spades in her. They've got Sweden in that semi-final who love this sort of sound. Ireland will pick up the phone and vote for it as well. If she just sells it and performs it, remember she's only 22, but she looks like she's been doing this for years. The song is really current, it's really catchy. It is a bit repetitive, but that's where they have struck in my mind an absolute goldmine by having that one bridge in Croatian, which just is a last little bit of a twist and catches you off guard, which it did for me. The fact it won the public vote by such a huge margin in Croatia shows that they really get behind her and want her to do well. And I think this could make the final. If it doesn't, it will be a big shame. But as you say, it's a strong semi. Good songs are going to fall. I am worried this isn't going to make it, but if it does, I'll be really happy because I do play this an awful lot. It's right up there for me, and I think she's fantastic. So she just sells it, performs, and has fun on stage like she did in Dora. She can't do much else, really.
I think that's the problem, isn't it? There are so many good songs this year. This is one of them. And there is one of many, many good up-tempo songs. Everyone's gone up-tempo this year. Must be something to do with the fact we're all in lockdown. And we need something to party to. I love this. I play it all the time. But there is a part of me that thinks that this is so good that it's one of those songs which in a strong year could miss out. And I think it'd be a travesty. I'm going to go to Terry. Terry, good to have you on the show. What are your thoughts on Croatia this year? And could you see it being one of their first qualifications direct to the final?
Well, you're absolutely right, Stuart, in saying that it's a very strong year. It's a very exciting year, as was last year's. I was so disappointed that all those songs obviously went. But anyway, Tick-Tock, before I heard the song in the national final, I thought, what a clever title, because everyone's talking about TikTok and doing TikTok. I don't actually do TikTok. I don't even know what it is. But I thought, oh, that's a good title. When it came on, I thought, oh, yes, that's the winner. It's got a really good hook. And a song has got to have a hook. It's got to have that quality where it drives you a little bit mad and you wake up in the morning and it's still going on ahead. And that song does exactly that. I think it's great that she's got those 4 dancers with her. I think it's 4 boy dancers. And I think the only concern of mine is that when she sings live, she, although she's got a fantastic voice, we know that, I could potentially get a little bit carried away on the night, and she's got to keep that support going on her vocals. Let the boys take care of all the visuals and the dance routines. Don't join in with that dance so much that it affects her vocal quality, which is amazing. But I've seen it in Eurovision so many times where live on the night, they just kind of over sing it. But I think she's a very clever girl, and I think it's going to do very well. I see it going through to the final. I see it going through to the final. I really do. And the way it's wedged, I think it's perfect. There's a lot of up-tempo songs this year, of course, but I think this one actually a standout. I think it's very, very good. Also, I love in the middle chorus, just before the bridge section, into the final chorus, there's a sort of 70s disco vibe, which I really love. And I also love the mix of languages. She's mixed it up in the middle there with a little Turkey twist. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I agree. I think it's a nice mix, and it's good also that some countries are bringing English to the Eurovision, but it's nice that they bring some of their native language as well. I think we missed that in a number of songs. I think she's a very competent performer, and those who watch this show will know that I'm all about an artist or artists attacking songs. She does that in spades. She's got incredible charisma. She can deliver it on stage, and I'm expecting a lot of good things from her performance in Rotterdam. Let's bring Martin in. Martin, why have Croatia done so badly over the years? And is this the year where we could potentially put an end to that?
It's difficult to know with Croatia. I mean, a lot of the time they tend to send ballads, which obviously don't necessarily stand out as much. I mean, you've had Franca in 2018, which I love, but didn't stand out. Sometimes it's just the fact that they haven't got their fellow nations around them in the same semi-final. I mean, this year, I don't know. The one advantage of all the bangers that are there this year in semi-final one is that we've seen her sing live. We know she can sing live. She's got a great voice. The routine was good. Deserved to win Dora. But then in the same semi-final, you got like Israel and Azerbaijan and Cyprus. All of these big banger ones. You've also got the Roop. You've also got Malta. So already you're looking that they could be behind that, and that's not including all the songs that sound different to that. So yeah, I think I'd like to see it get through, but I've got this feeling that they might miss out again.
There's going to be some great songs that don't quite make it this year, and I think there'll be some surprises as well. There's going to be one or two big hitters in the betting that are huge fan favourites that don't make it as well. I think there might be some in the semi-final actually that failed to make it. Phil and Michelle, you actually sat through Dora, so you watched Dora 2021 as well as San Remo. So I think you've definitely earned your stripes this national final season. And if I recall, Michelle, you actually messaged me halfway through Dora and said, I've just seen the worst ever Eurovision performance in my life. But tell us about Albina. She won it absolutely convincingly. I think she won it by something like 3,000 or 4,000 points to Nina, who took part in Eurovision some years ago. How do you see this going down in Rotterdam?
Do you want to go?
No, after you.
Well, I think where it's sandwiched in between Ticks and the Netherlands, it's a bit of a quandary because Belgium, yeah, because you're going to have Ticks and everyone's going to be going, what just happened there then? What's going on? And they're all going to be still a bit dazed and confused at what they've just seen until halfway through this song. Then they're going to listen to the end half, and then Belgium's going to come on and they're going to go, what the hell's happening now? And I think it's going to get lost because of where it is in the semi-final. But I love it. There's not many songs that I can remember because we've watched a lot of rubbish, haven't we, Stu, really, in the national final. But I remember.
Well, you have. Yeah, I passed on Dora.
Oh, God, Dora. No. Still have nightmares about it. But I like it. I really want it to get through, but I really think because of where it is, it's too confusing. And it's not going to get through.
Yeah, this song's actually grown on me. I never really disliked it, but the more I hear it, the more I like it. Well, the problem is it's in semi-final one.
Yeah. And
there are a lot of songs I think that give you a much bigger first impression impact than this one.
Yeah.
It's a good solid song, and I think if it was in semi-final 2, it would almost certainly qualify, but I think it's going to be tough in semi-final 1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be scrounging around for like the 8, 9, 10 position. I think you could probably name 8 songs now that would go through from semi-final 1. And the problem is the last 2 spots, there's a lot of people fighting for them. It's whether they can scrape through or not.
Thanks, guys. And finally, Tom, what's your position on Croatia? Do you think we might see Croatia in the final?
I think there's every possibility, isn't there? The thing I like about this song is the fact that it's one of those ones where you listen to and it kind of almost makes you take notice of it. There's a couple of times it's come on and I kind of pick up, I'm like, oh, what's this? And you look at it and you're like, it's Tick-Tock, it's the Croatian song. And it's got that likable quality. And I think that's going to stand it in good stead with the juries. As we've said, the semi-final itself is going to be like navigating it's like a rope bridge that's falling apart, isn't it? Because there are going to be so many songs that people like that are just going to fall through the cracks, literally. With this, they're going to do well to get over to the other side, to the grand final, and I think this has got every chance. The one thing is, obviously, if this song's going to get through to the final, there's going to be at least one favourite that doesn't, I think, and that's going to be the thing. So, best of luck to her. I think she's got every chance in the world of making it through.
Yeah, it's one of those songs, I think, that you listen to and you think this is really, really cool. It's quite catchy. And then you watch the national final performance, and I think it confirms that it's a good song. I actually think this year, because we've seen a lot of the performers last year and we've seen a lot of them move forward to this year, we know what we're getting to a certain extent. With the national finals, we've weaved out a lot of the songs which sounded great on paper but weren't delivered well live. What we know we're getting from Albina is a really competent performer that will attack this song like her life depends on it. I think it's got a good chance for Croatia. I agree with you though, Tom. I think it is and sorry, Michelle, it's scratching around for that 8th, 9th and 10th position. It's whether they get enough votes, and I think it will be a travesty if Croatia fail to make it, but you're right, someone's going to fail this year, especially in semi-final 1. That's Croatia. Tom, back to you.
Hey, so next up, guys, it's Romania. What a checkered history they have had. They qualified for every single final and then got disqualified in 2016. They've only made it to the final once since then. That was with Yodel It in 2017. Let's not forget, they came 3rd in 2005 and 2010. They even won their semi-final in 2005 as well. This year, they're 15th in the betting odds. You can get somewhere between 33 and 50 to 1 on them. And Roxen is back. Having actually put herself forward with Alcohol You last year, this year it's Amnesia. Now, I know someone who likes this, and I'm going to use in quotations here, ballad. So I'm going to go straight to Elliot on this. Elliot, what do you like about this year's Romanian entry?
I stand by that statement, even though everyone says I'm wrong. I don't care. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, this song, and I've been saying it since day one, and no one has really picked it as this, but I can definitely see in such a strong year where anything can happen and a song can come through the middle and win it. Roxen could win with Amnesia if she gets it right. This song is beautiful. We know she can sing well. We know she can deliver it. I think the staging she's hinted will be similar to the music video, which, if they don't chuck her about too much, will work. The lyrics are brilliant. I used to know a girl shining like a pearl, then she lost herself. I know she's felt like she's lost her self-love, but then she says, you're not alone. She's singing to people who this affects, and she's only 21 or 22. A lot of people go through this sort of self-doubt and searching at this age, so it will stick out. It will attach to people. And it's the only sort of song that has this sort of, City Lights vibe to it. I keep going back to it. It reminds me of a sense of City Lights. And I loved that, and that did really, really well. And a lot of people like it, but no one is putting it in the same realm as a Malta or a Switzerland. But I do think it can do it. I do think if they get it all right and someone else falters, or she doesn't even win everything or do consistently get 12s, but just enough to keep herself nearby, she could just sneak it and win, and it'd be totally deserved because she's an amazing artist. She's very true to herself, and I think this song reflects it very, very well. I'm excited to see what she wears though as well, because it can't be much worse than what she wore in the national final last year though. But I genuinely think this could do top 5 if not win it.
Oh, strong stuff indeed. Let's go to Terry, because this is another semi-final 1 song, Terry. It's going to be between Israel and Azerbaijan on the night. Is that going to benefit or hinder it, do you think?
So I took a lot of time on this song because it's the sort of song that I don't normally like, and I had to work really hard to try to appreciate it. And I found it really interesting. But the thing that I don't it's not my cup of tea, is that I don't like that modern way of singing, especially when she uses the glottal stop in her voice. And there's an electronic voice effect, which I actually think is really good. It's like an eerie feel, and it's quite haunting. And it grew on me, and I took about 10 times to watch it over and over, and it grows on me each time. So I'm with Elliot on that. I couldn't understand the lyrics at all, so I had to really work hard it's amnesia, memory loss. So she lost herself trying to have it all, taking on too much, so much in the world to do and see, take on. In the end, it causes memory loss. So maybe take things a little bit more cool and calmly, which I feel is a great sentiment, actually, especially through the pandemic. I think it's a classy song. It's very unusual. And I think it could do surprisingly well, even though it's not one that I would necessarily listen to by choice.
Thanks for that, Terry. And I think you're right. I think it's that type of song that's up there, but it's not necessarily what everyone's expecting at the moment. And I think that's going to be key. Just going on to get Martin involved in this. Now, we said that you had songs in your top 10 and just outside your top 10. Do we have a sneak preview as to where this song actually fits in your rankings this year?
Yeah, this is another one of the ones outside. Alcohol You last year was my number 2, and I absolutely loved it. And I do like this song. I love the sentiment of it. I love Roxen, because she sings brilliantly live. We've not seen it with this song yet. She's got this sort of quality that, you know, how when you watched Oasis and you watch Liam Gallagher and you just watch him because he doesn't move, but he just sings and he's got something about him that makes you watch him. Roxen's like that. I've got this unfortunate feeling the opposite way, that I think this could end up being one of the ones that doesn't make it, that I would love to make it. I think it deserves to be sort of in the final, but having looked at semi-final 1, I could see that this could be one of the ones that slips out. The only positive is that it is in between. Was it Israel and Azerbaijan?
Yeah.
So it will stand out, and it's going to be very interesting to see whether the Romanian delegation go with the Roxen sings brilliantly if she stood still, or whether they risk it and they make her move around like Elliot's suggesting with the video, and maybe risks losing some of the vocals. Don't know. I think it's a bit, you know, this could go really big, but I could also see that Roxen might be surprisingly one of the ones not to make it through.
That's interesting what you say. I'm going to bring Hayley and Matt in on this. Do you think Roxen should risk it? Should she keep it simple and show off her voice, or should they throw the kitchen sink at it and give us a proper stage show?
I think they should give him a proper stage show. I quite like the video with I'm not sure what you'd call it. Is it interpretive dance? I'm not really sure, but I think they should definitely bring that onto the stage with them. I'll be honest, this is the first day after watching a couple of different things today that I've even considered that Romania wouldn't qualify. To me, it's one of the ones that will do well. I think even it's where it's placed, I think it'll stand out. And I know people have said maybe it could be somewhere where people would be like, oh, it's a toilet break kind of time. But I think it will stand out between Israel and Azerbaijan. I'm not a particular fan of the Israel song myself either. So I think, to me, the Romania song, I think it's pretty different as well. And I think it'll grab people's attention because of that, especially if they do bring into some of those different dance moves that we've seen on the music video as well. And she's got a great look as well, I think. So I think that'll stand out as well amongst the likes of Effendi and I can't remember her name now. The one from Israel.
Yeah, and do you know what? She's escaped my mind as well now, because I'm sat here going, that's so-and-so. Eden, that's it.
It's not a good sign,
I can
though.
just see her, but yeah, not a good sign.
I'm leaning more towards Roxen disappearing into the background, I'm afraid. I love it. I think it's a growing song, and a bit like Terry, the more I hear it, the better I like it. But by the same token, the voters on the night only hear it the once. Well, the majority of the voters only hear it that once. And if it's buried in between two dancey pop songs that might grab your attention better, I think it might be one that slips. But I do think it deserves to go through.
Interesting. Donna, do you think it deserves to go through? I can see you nodding in agreement there.
Oh, yes, I absolutely think it deserves to go through. And you know my sentiments, well, the viewers might not, on Azerbaijan. Not my favourite. And I think if they pull off the staging just right, I and it will be a tricky one with this. I don't want her to be static. I want her to join in with the dance, but then at the same time, I don't want it to be a Montaigne from last year. I absolutely don't want that, because that just didn't work for me. So it has potential, and I do think, though, Matt might have it. It might just fall by the wayside. Knowing who normally vote for Israel and normally vote for Azerbaijan, I don't know if this will have the legs to pass in that section.
I mean, I'm going to give you a follow-up question as well on it, Donna. Do you reckon it's actually easier or harder to qualify for the grand final after you've been missing for so many years? And they've been missing from the grand final since 2017 was the last time they qualified for it.
That's a tricky one. I mean, I was gutted when they actually got disqualified that year as well, because that was a fabulous song. And I'm sure Terry loved that as well, because it was very musical theatre and rocky at the same time. I suppose if your presence isn't there, it doesn't always help, does it? And you feel, although it's not supposed to be politically, sometimes it is. And those voters that don't see it very often, or are politically minded sometimes, might be swayed the other way. It's going to be a tricky one regardless. What I do like is that she's not in the same semi-final as Victoria, because obviously having that same style voice, that Billie Eilish, she doesn't pronounce as well, but that I think works in her favour in this song. And both those things work in her favour, I think. So it'll be a hard one for Romania to get back. This might be understated enough, but big enough it could do it. But it's got to get through first.
And this is true. It's going to be an uphill battle. Phil and Michelle, you've been waiting really patiently there. Give us your views. What do you think on Roxen's song this year?
Well, I think it's strange that it's called Amnesia, because every time it comes on Spotify, I go, oh, what's this? And then it's like I get 3/4 of the way through and I sort of go, and then if I'm in the garden, I've got them on like the Eurovision on shuffle, and they go, oh, what's this? No, I can't. It's totally unforgettable. I cannot. Unforgettable.
All right.
Forgettable.
Yeah.
It's totally forgettable. Yeah. I can't remember it.
Yeah, it's one. It doesn't do anything for me either, I'm afraid. It's just not my kind of song. And I don't know. I think it's another one that might struggle to qualify, down the bottom end of the songs that may or may not go through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about interpretive dance though?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a bit of the old pants people dancing, but yeah, I'm sorry, I don't get this one.
It starts off well, but you get bored by the middle of it. It's just nothingness. So no.
You know what? All I'm looking forward to now, I've just got visions of you and Phil doing interpretive dance at some point for us, and I shall look forward to that. I don't know what song you're going to pick. We
were doing it just before we came on air as well. Oh, it's a shame. Never mind, you missed it.
Damn, missed it again. We'll be there next time. Stu, wrap this one up for us.
Look, I loved Alcohol You last year. I thought that was a brilliant song. I love this too. Elliot, it's not a banger. It's not a ballad even. It's kind of somewhere in between. I don't know what it is. It's kind of mid-tempo into nothing. But it's a really, really good song. Great lyrics. As Terry said, with the pandemic, the message is really pure. It's really, really important song, actually. Let's talk about Romania qualification record. Absolutely brilliant until a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden it fell apart. And even those 2 years where it fell apart, they were close. They finished 11th in the semi and then 13th with Esther Pioni, which really, really was a poor result for Romania. I wouldn't count this one out at all. I think it'll be there or thereabouts. I think this is a good... It's not a ballad. Thank you, Gustav, for clearing that one up. You need to tell your mate in the top right-hand corner. And I think this will be somewhere in between 8th and 12th. It'll finish somewhere like that. So I think there's a very strong chance it will qualify. If it qualifies, I think this will do well in the final, strangely. It's one of those songs that I think it might finish maybe 9th, 10th or 11th. And let's say it qualifies in 10th, it might finish top 10 in the final because it's strong and she's strong. She's not very much of a mover, though. She's a great vocal, but in terms of attacking a song, she's not that great. And we saw that from her final last year. So I'm hoping that she'll pull it off live and this will sail through because it's a great song.
Yeah, and I have to say, I would love to see this get through to the final. And I think you've got an excellent point, because I think if she does make it through to the final, and I think given the fact the semi-finals this year are a bit smaller as well, so there is less room for manoeuvre for the producers. But I think it's more likely to shine amongst 26 songs because there's going to be more flexibility of where to place it, as opposed to in that semi-final, as we know, where it's just so strong. And semi-final 2 is strong as well. Other semi-finals are available. But yes, she's got every chance. I just can't call it. And like Stu, I would cop out and say, yeah, 8th to 12th, I suspect, and we'll see where it falls on the night. Now, ESC Fan TV are going to hold an awards night. I know, it's tremendously exciting. Stu, I know, I'm excited by it. Stu, come on, give us some more information, because we're going to collect some more nominations tonight.
Yeah, we are. Tonight's nomination, or category even, is Best Male Artist of 2021. That includes national final season as well as Eurovision itself. So we're looking for our nominations from our panel. I think we're going to start with Elliot. Elliot, who is your nomination for Best Male?
My nomination, pure and simple, just because he's a breath of fresh air, he's doing everything his own way, and he's just a joy to watch, perform, and everything he does on social media. It's Jendrik. He's a fabulous young lad with a great song, and I just, whenever I see like his posts and whatnot, and his song, I just smile. So I think he deserves it because he's just fantastic, and I think he's a great ambassador for what this contest is all about as well.
Thank you, Elliot. I'm going to fly over to Phil and Michelle. Who are you guys going for?
Well, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Benny Cristo!
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, I was going to say, I think we should give you 2 split votes tonight, or split nominations. Who you go for, Phil?
I'm going with Max Gazzi from San Remo this year. It was sort of another delightfully bonkers performance.
God, it was a mess.
It was, the guy, he dressed up as Leonardo da Vinci for the first performance, then I think it was Salvador Dali, and then as himself. And it was one of these songs that's sort of quirky and odd, but not in your face crazy.
Really?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a sort of a gentle bonkersness about it.
Yeah, he's no Benny Cristo though.
And there was still a serious sort of song behind it, but I just loved that. That was my favourite this year, definitely.
Thank you, Phil. I'm just looking for a picture of Benny Cristo because I've got a feeling that I can't find it. I had a very special picture for Michelle there. Maybe I'll pick it out later. We're going to go Donna next. Who is your nomination, Donna?
Now, get ready, everyone. Who do we think it's going to be? Well, I've got 2, really. If we're going for national finals, then it has to be Irma Meta. Everybody knows how much of a fan geek, yes, pull that face, Michelle, a fan geek I am over him, and he had a great entry this year, coming 3rd in San Remo. Not surprised it didn't win, but yeah, he's still one of my favourites, he's fab. And if it has to be the actual qualifiers for the main contest, Daddy Filia.
You're only allowed 1 nomination. Who are you going for?
No. Oh, go on, because Irma won't get mentioned otherwise. I'm going to stick with Irma.
I'm going to go with Irma. Always
Irma.
stick, never twist. Whatever. It wasn't in my top 40 last night.
I know, deliberately so.
I'm going to go and speak to, let's go to Terry next. Terry, who is your pick for Best Male of 2021?
Well, I'm going to build up the suspense by telling you first my silver medal position, which is Portugal, because he has such a fantastic technique. He's obviously sung for many, many years. He's been round the block. You can hear it in his voice. It's articulated. It's got everything over it technically. But the winner, when I heard this song, I was just about to have my tea, you see, and I've got it all sorted out, and I've got my fork, and I was just about to take the first bite, and I thought, well, I'll just see what he's going to sing this year. Press the button, and I put the fork firmly down and started to cry within the first 10 seconds. By the first 30 seconds, I could hardly breathe. I was just beside myself. I thought this song and this singer is nothing short of perfection. Every time I hear it, it's got 100% from me, and it's just exquisite. And I thought, this has got to win the Eurovision Song Contest. I don't think it will, but I would be over the moon if it did. And it is, of course, Vasil from North Macedonia.
Thank you, Terry. Did anyone else have that as their choice? I'm not sure I had that one. Oh, you did, Hayley. Nice one. Did anyone else?
Yeah.
Well, we will be talking about North Macedonia in a couple of weeks' time, Terry. So just keep tuned for that. Let's go from Terry to Hayley and Matt.
Oh.
Well, my nomination is also Vasil.
That's fine. We can do that.
We can do that. It's fine. Like Terry, I just think I follow Vasil on Instagram and stuff, and every time that he posts something, it's always so uplifting. And anybody who comments on anything, a bit similar to what you see with Jendrik when he posts stuff, is always just commenting back with love to the people that are doing it. I think everything that he went through to potentially, being disqualified or whatever it was, and everything, he was just so positive, and I think he was so grateful that he was even offered the opportunity to represent his country for Eurovision. And he's got such a gorgeous voice. I'd love to see him in some sort of stage show, really. I don't necessarily think he'll qualify. I really hope he does, but I would love to see him on some sort of big stage where he got to perform. I think he is great, and he's such a lovable guy.
I agree. Thanks, Hayley. Matt, do you have a different choice to Vasil?
I have a different choice, yeah. I very much appreciate Vasil. I'm actually going to nominate Rein Alexander from Norway. A non-qualifier, obviously, but I think a part of this is a carryover from last year, where I kind of thought he deserved to win Norway. And this year, I'm not going to pretend his song was as strong, but his voice is amazing. I think Rein Alexander he could do so well on stage in an actual show. I think he's definitely worth a nomination.
Let's hope he's watching, because it'll be the first time Rein Alexander's ever finished top of anything. We love you, Rein. Thank you, Matt. Let's go to Martin next.
Yeah, I mean, mine's fairly straightforward because I only had about an hour to decide this because it's sort of coming in late on this show, but it'll be the same anyway. It's Gijon's Tears. It's been difficult for all the artists coming back who have actually to produce something as good as last year. And for me, in a way, this year's even better. And superb voice. He does it live as well. And he's in Switzerland have got a really great chance of winning yet again this year. And, he's a nice guy. So, yeah, that would be my choice, Gijon's Tears.
Thank you, Martin, and potential Eurovision winner if the betting stands. And I'm going to go for Tix of Norway, because after what happened in Norway with Kano, the poor guy got absolutely destroyed by everybody, and he's delivered. He's really positioned himself so well and kind of got over the whole thing, and he's come out the other side remarkably. So I've got so much respect for that guy. And I hope he does well at Eurovision as well. Tom, who are you going to go for?
Do you know what? This is a tough choice, because I thought, do I, take one for the team and actually nominate what Alina and Jeanette would want nominated and put Eric Sade forward?
Definitely
but
not.
I did that on Thursday. I did that on Thursday. So do I go with an artist that I thought was actually quite good and engaged really well with the fans, such as Terence James from France? I thought, decent choice. But no, ultimately, I've decided to back British, because he's come back with a banger this year. And I think, he's got a better chance this year than last year, actually, of doing something really good on the scoreboard. So my nomination for Best Male goes to James Newman.
Oh, and there I was thinking you were going to nominate Daz Sampson again. You sure you don't want to change your mind?
No.
Back with you, Tom.
So, guys, the next song we are looking at this evening, it's Lithuania. It's the Roop. It's Discoteque. What could have been? I am sure the Roop still actually ask themselves what could have been last year. They were one of the favourites last year. This year, they're 8th in the odds. They're somewhere between 14 and 20 to 1. They got their highest placing, which is 9th in 2016 with Donny Montel. I've been waiting for this night. They last qualified for the final in 2018. And I know there are 2 big Roop fans, at least on this panel. So I'm going to go straight to Phil and Michelle.
It's £1.20 a pint in Lithuania.
Nice to see you got your priorities sorted, guys.
I thought, didn't LT United come 6th from Lithuania in the past? Anyway, I love this. I love this song. This was my #1 song right up until Maneskin won San Remo. But this is still my second favourite song this year. It's a great song. I prefer it to last year's. It's a lot of fun. It's sort of a serious message behind it, but it's still, it's a fun song. It's great. It's got the little dance. They've even done a video so you can learn the little dance.
Yes, we've watched the video. We're learning the little dance, and it's going well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We absolutely bloody love it. What's not to like? I love the fact that they wear those outfits in the nice bright colours and everybody matches. I like the fact that the dancers aren't your typical sort of dancers either. It's like you see that bloke and he's going like this and you're going, well, that's not, your typical dancer type man. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of lightheartedness. You can learn a dance, which is simple, and everybody loves to learn a dance. And it's £1.20 a pint.
And the other thing is, it's got a great initial impact. It doesn't have to grow on you.
Yeah.
You see it, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
but
you're not going to forget that in a hurry.
You're not. And it's easily going to qualify. And
I
think it's got a fairly
definitely.
good, it's definitely in the running to win, definitely.
Love it.
Hey, really nice to hear some positive stuff there. You are right. LT United did give them their highest placing of 6th, but to be honest, I chose to ignore that song. It irritated the life out of me back then, and it still irritates me today. So, I just pretend it never happened. Let's go to now. You're learning the dance, and I'm hoping you've got a good dance teacher in Elliot. How is the lesson? How are the lessons going, Elliot?
I've got really long arms, so me doing that dance is a hazard to anyone in a 2-meter radius. But hey, it's a good way to keep social distancing, I guess. I feel so conflicted about this entry. I think he's a great singer. He's a really unique way of singing, and it's quite mesmerising and in a way of performing. I'm not sold on this. The main thing I remember is the bright banana yellow outfits, and who the hell signed off on that? It's fine. It's absolutely fine, but it feels incredibly repetitive, more so than last year. Yes, it's good fun, but the issue is it's opening, and I think that's its biggest issue. It's opening semi-final 1, so although, yes, it's a great, hey, it's Eurovision, here we go, you've got so many big hitters following it. You've got Eden, you've got Effendi, you've got Destiny, you've got Tix, you've got so many. This could somehow get forgotten, or people might just go, oh, God, no, this is too much. It's going to be a Marmite song. It's going to... Martin, I see you pulling that face. It's a Marmite song. And these are the songs that either don't qualify or make the top 10. I'm not convinced. I think this could be the shock non-qualifier, because the Roop was dead cert to do well with On Fire last year. It was a dead cert. This feels a little phoned in, and the national selection felt the same way, because although they were given a bye, they surrounded it with 0 competition as well, so it was a waste of 6 weeks. I'm not convinced on how this will do. I wish them all the best though, but it's not for me. Sorry, not the biggest fan of it. I personally have it 11th in this semi-final.
Oh, I can feel some eyes literally just burning through you, Elliot. That's
and I'm now going to hide before the pitchforks in 5 torches arrive.
Because Ooh, it takes a brave person to do that. Donna, would you not see the yellow banana outfits as a what do they call it? A benefit, a credit to perhaps the memorability of the act?
Well, it's certainly that. Yes, it may even win the Barbara Dex at this rate. But I like it. I think you've got to have something that matches those dance moves and the quirkiness of the song. So why not? I mean, even the kind of cut of it, like her kind of, it looks like a kid's outfit, doesn't it? Or you'd wear in like a Korean school uniform or something. It's very odd, and it just adds to the oddness, but in a fun, light-hearted way. It's just, what's not to love about this? I know I love this song. It is right up there for me. And I do admit though, Elliot, being first, I was really worried when that was announced. Hopefully it will be bonkers enough that people will love it and it will remain in people's memories through the rest of the contest.
Do you know what? I hope so. I mean, I like this. I do agree in the fact that it was a bit of a coronation. There wasn't really much point in having a national final, given the lack of competition that went up against the Roop. Now, Martin, so far you've said, "Oh, it's outside my top 10. It's outside my top 10." If looks could have killed through the online, portal, then Elliot would be in hospital, severely injured by now, I think. So, is this top 10, top 5? Where have we got this one this year?
Number 4.
4,
which is the same as last year. So it's the same as On Fire, and I just think this is great fun, and I don't think it makes any difference this year that it starts the semi-final one. I mean, obviously EBU have gone, oh my God, we've got the Roop, we've got this song, it's so bright, it's so fun, we shall stick it first to remind everybody Eurovision is back. But there's only 16 songs in this semi-final. I mean, if you can't remember from number 1 to number 16, then basically you should be maybe in a home somewhere, don't know. But anyway, this is great, it's fun, the song's great. Its main thing is the staging. And yeah, it's repetitive, but repetitive sticks in your head. So I think this is going to sail through, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was up there in the televote winning position at the end in the final. You know, that's what I think anyway. But yeah, great fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing them do it because it's spot on every single time they do it.
Yeah, they're opening the semi-final. I mean, is opening semi-final 1? I mean, is this the closest we get to like a winner's reprise at the start of a of this year's final?
Well,
maybe,
I mean, possibly. It depends where they get drawn in the final, doesn't it? Really, I mean, they're not going to be kicking off the final even if they're drawn in the first half because nobody, even the EBU, aren't that cruel.
Yeah, let's reserve judgment for that until we see what the order's like on the night. Terry, let's come to you with this. Are you someone else that's practicing the dance as well? Oh, you're on mute, Terry.
On a Tuesday afternoon as well. Am I on mute?
No, you're not anymore. It's fine. No, we can hear you.
Have you unmuted me? Am I? Mother, yes, I'm on. Am I on?
Yes.
So no, I love it. I definitely dance to this on a Saturday night or on a Tuesday afternoon as well. Can you imagine, gang, if this won the Eurovision Song Contest, in 10 years' time, people would say, now what song won it on the pandemic? Dance Alone. How perfect is that lyric for us in these times? Because we're all at home dancing on our own, aren't we, Elliot? Yes, I do agree with Elliot that it's a little bit like, oh, is it going to make it because it's first in the running order? However, look at Ding a Dong, Diggy Loo, Diggy Lay, Save All Your Kisses for Me. They all won the Eurovision Song Contest from the first place. Now, the Roop was actually one of my favourites last year. Of course it was. As it was amongst the whole world. And so it was a very tough act to follow. And I think they actually have succeeded in following it. I think it's just as good as last year. I love it's my favourite colour, that sunflower yellow. I also like the fact that he's got the hand gesture in at the beginning. And then the new hand gesture, that business. I mean, we'll all be doing that all over Europe, won't we? The split fingers routine. I think it's brilliant. So I absolutely love it. It's actually, Martin, it's my 4th favourite song too. I have to say that it was my favourite, and then Norway came along, and then Iceland came along, and then North Macedonia, Vasil came along. Hayley, I want to give you a big hug for saying what you said about the wonderful Vasil. There's about 10 moments in Vasil's song, just incredible. I believe it cannot win. However, I am a music very biased. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Vasil. Lithuania, pick it up. I love it. It could actually win the Eurovision Song Contest. I hope it could. I hope it does.
Hey, thanks for that, Terry. Hayley and Matt, I saw you doing. So have you been practicing the whole split fingers routine then?
I've been practicing the whole routine. I've been since day one when this came out. I've been practicing it. I think I've pretty much got it now. I'll be honest.
She has. No,
hey.
A sneaky clip one day, but let's see. Depends how many drinks I have on the night.
So what's your take on it? Is it gonna win?
Well, it's my number 1 song. I would love it to win. I don't think I cannot see any chance that this wouldn't qualify. I don't think even being in the number 1 spot is going to hinder it at all. I think it will set the whole semi-final one off with a bang. Myself, I love the banana yellow. I'll be wearing yellow myself on the night. And I think that's also makes them stand out again, that even visually, if it's not your kind of cup of tea, you'll still remember seeing that on the stage as well as the weird dance moves. My only worry is maybe people seeing it for the first time. Like I sent my non-Eurovision fan friends some video clips, and one of them turned it off after a few seconds. So needless to say, we're not speaking anymore.
And Matt, is Hayley going to get you into banana yellow for Eurovision night as well?
I suspect we will both be wearing banana yellow. I will not be dancing. I cannot dance. I have tried. We both tried. I'm on fire last year. Hayley knew every dance move for that as well, just for clarity. But for me, this particular song, I actually think it's stronger than last year's. I think, and also I don't think the first song to be sung in this whole contest, if you like. I think everything will be compared directly against it. So the songs that come second, third, fourth, no matter how much of a banger, how fast they are, how good, I think they're going to be compared directly with the Roop, and I think they'll find themselves wanting.
Hey, thanks for that. Stu, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, 3 things. People will remember the outfits, they will remember the dance, and they will remember the song. No questions. This is 100% qualifying from semi-final 1. It's probably going top 8 at Eurovision. There's so much to love about this entry. There's so much to love about them. People will relate to them. People that want to get up and dance will dance to it. They'll vote for it. It's a potential Eurovision winner. I'm not sure it will win, but I think it will go close. And it is a great entry from Lithuania. They should be very, very proud.
Hey, thanks for that, Stu. And yes, this is one of my favourites. I think I've only listened to it a couple of times, but I think it was one of those instantly stuck songs. I always try to kind of listen to the ones that I don't kind of get first time round a bit more before I then start reintroducing all the others, purely because otherwise, especially when you come on and do these shows and things, you kind of like you need to try and remember them all. But yeah, I've got the refrain of this just going through my head. Absolutely fantastic song. And I think this could get its best ever placing. I think Lithuania could be looking at their best ever placing this year. And for them, I really, really hope they do. And as Phil and Michelle said, it's £1.20 a pint in Lithuania, and that can only be a good thing. Yeah. Certainly cheaper than I could probably get a pint in Paris, don't you think, Stu?
Well, I was going to say, it certainly isn't £1.30 per pint in Paris, that's for sure. So that's where we're heading for our final entry of tonight. We're going to France, who are third favourite to win the whole damn thing. That's right. Barbara Pravi destroyed all competitors in her path in this year's French national final. Yeah, France were one of the countries that said, you know what, there's no way we're sending our entrant from 2020 again. Tom Leeb was ditched. In came a national final, and Barbara Pravi left everyone standing. She's no stranger to Eurovision. She won Junior Eurovision only last year as the writer of Bim Bam Toi, sung by Carla. Voilà is the song. It's a stunning, stunning ballad. It tells the story of a woman moving from insecurity to strength. And if you want to hear an acoustic version of Voilà, it's all over YouTube. Go and check out Le Grand Oral on YouTube. France, our third favourites. I know one man who has this as his number one because I've been checking his top 10 because he posts it on Facebook almost every day. Martin, let's come to you first. Voila! Tell us why you think this can win Eurovision.
Well, not sure about winning whole Eurovision. I think this is a very good chance of being the jury winner, personally. Everything we saw in the French national final was almost perfect for Eurovision. She sings perfectly. She's got bags of emotion. She believes in the song. It was very minimalist, all to do with lighting and darkness. And she's been on other things recently where her vocals are just perfect and the passion's just there. And everybody's just sitting there watching open mouth. There was a thing on a few nights ago and everyone was just amazed with what they were seeing. So I think this is a very, very strong candidate for winning the jury vote. Televote, don't know. That could be the thing that basically stops us from having the First Nation to be, I think I'm right in saying, Junior Eurovision winners and Eurovision winners in the same sort of section of time, because I don't think we've had that before. And it will be an incredible story seeing that, as you say, she wrote the 2020 song and she would actually be winning Eurovision with another one she's written and sung as well. So for me, this is my favourite entry. You know, if people, you know, there's going to be some people who don't particularly like the sort of modern chanson, which is fine, but you know, I think this is going to do really, really well. It's definitely going to be better than any French song that we've had for years. We're probably, you know, maybe even better than Emir, you know, and you know, going back decades to get when they were getting second and third places.
Yeah, I agree, Martin. Do you know the last time France were in the top three at the betting was 2011 with a Maori, and look how that turned out. But I'm sure this will go better. Let's stick with the junior references. Let's go to Elliot. Elliot, I've got to compare now a story around Destiny in Malta, and we're not going to talk about Destiny, but Destiny won Junior Eurovision. She's come back to Eurovision to try to win this Eurovision this year, and yet we have this phenomenal songwriter who won Junior Eurovision only a few months ago, back as a favourite to win this Eurovision. Can Barbara Pravi win Eurovision this year?
On the one hand, I can see it. I won't completely take that off the table because it was quite clear France wanted her because this song was released before it was even announced in the national final. It was out before Junior Eurovision happened, and the fact she wrote the last two and then won, they clearly thought, right, this is a girl invested, we want her, and we want this song. And although the national final was good, everything was centred around Barbara in France. Like, we could see that. Wasn't my winner at all. I would have had Juliette, or Angeli Ahmad, or Terence. I thought they were a lot stronger. If she wasn't singing this song, I don't think it would stand a chance, personally. She is the reason you listen to this and watch it, because she is so emotive and she performs it really, really well. I liked what they did with the lighting and her in black, and she had a gold corset, so she still wasn't completely, like, drowned out. I thought that was clever. I get a lot of Lucy Jones from this, though. And I think she is going to overact and overperform it, like we said about Roxen earlier, and I think that is going to help her in the jury and probably have her top 10, but I think the televote is going to crucify her. Because people are going to say, oh, this is too French. I said it was very Edith Piaf and quite dated. I still stand by that. And then others will go, like they said with Lucy Jones, the song's great, but she's trying too hard. I just think there are a few elements stopping her winning, so I think she'll end up mid-table. But I do think, you know, after the jury vote, she will do all right. But we'll have to see how it's done. I don't expect much to change, but I don't really listen to the song, to be honest. I can watch it. That's because I can watch her. the song itself in just studio doesn't hit for me at all. Sadly.
Thanks, Elliot. She is a singer, though, that can really attack a song. I mean, I think she's leagues above some of the artists this year, and this is a pretty high standard. Terry, is this a song, do you think, that if the running order goes against, can really be a defining factor? For example, if France get first half in the final, could this be a song that just goes nowhere in terms of the voting? And yet, if this is a song which gets second half and maybe is in the last 4 or 5, could go places?
I think you're absolutely right there. Yes, I think if it was in the second half, it was placed about 20th, it would stand a much better chance, I think. And I take back what I said earlier, which was that you can win from first position, which of course you can. I think it's a very French song. It's got that instrumental sound on track, which is so French. It's a very good representation of France. That piano tinkly bit. The language is very attractive, even though I prefer a guttural language myself personally. But when she sings "Ne partez pas sans moi," "Ne partez pas," rather, sorry. It's simple, it's narrative, it's dramatic. And I really like her face. It's so animated, and she has a smiley animation. So it's because it's such an intense, dramatic song, it'd be so easy for her to pull her face down, but she doesn't. She lifts her cheekbones and she lifts up into a bright smile, even though she's singing something very intense. I love the crescendo build towards the end. There's a bit that sounds like a sort of carousel, and I can imagine a horse going round on your carousel, you know, when you're at the fun fair. It's got that lovely sound, and you can visual images. I really like that. What it does lack is an actual hook of a tune. I can't feel a particular tune. It doesn't leave me the next day humming it or singing it. And that is vital at Eurovision, to have a winning song with an actual hook and a tune. Like, for example, if you compare that to L'Oiseau et l'Enfant from 1977, it wasn't the favourite to win Eurovision. Belgium was that year, but L'Oiseau et l'Enfant won because of that wonderful tune and her singing by Miriam. I mean, but this, to me, pales into insignificance compared to their winning entry from 1977. So I don't see it winning.
Thank you, Terry. You know, if we look at the trends of Eurovision winners, it tends to go ballad, bop, ballad, bop, ballad, bop. We had Duncan Lawrence win in 2019, no Eurovision Song Contest in 2020. And given the year and a bit that we've all just had, is it time that a bop or a banger should win Eurovision? I'm coming to Hayley and Matt.
Well, it's definitely a time that a banger won Eurovision, in my opinion, after the year that we've all had, or the 2 years off from Eurovision that we've effectively had. I like this song, but I kind of agree with what's already been said. It is a little bit maybe too French, and maybe it would fall into insignificance depending on where it is placed in the final. I definitely don't think it's going to be top 3, in my opinion. Maybe they can hope for top 10 on the night. She's gorgeous. She's got a beautiful voice. I do like the song, but yeah, I just don't see that this is going to capture the public's opinion and votes, to be honest. I think, which, you know, maybe in other years she might have done a lot better, but I don't think this is her year. Thank you,
Hayley. What about you, Matt?
Much the same, really. I have one other take from it, really, which is as a very French song, and obviously it is all entirely sung in French. It might sound obvious to me, but she's singing in what I consider high school. I'm learning how to speak French. So even though it is all in French, I think a lot of people will take certain meaning from it, perhaps understand it, but more than they would like to admit. And I just think it's better for that. I do agree, though, that it's a year for a bop or a banger, and it is a bit slow for me.
Thanks, guys. I think it's a wonderful song. It's such a beautiful ballad, and it was a clear winner in France for me. And as much as I love it, I just want a bop this year. I just want something to party to on the 22nd of May. And France is quite expensive, and I'm going to Phil and Michelle now, because Michelle, you've got your sights set on either Malta or Lithuania. How about France?
Go on, I'll let the negative Nelly go first.
Well, it's not that I don't like the song. I mean, she's got a great voice. She sings this song well, and it's a clever song. The way it builds up and gradually speeds up, it's really clever. But the problem I have with it is it's just so intense, and by the time you get to the end of it, you feel like you've been sort of emotionally put through a ringer. You know,
and he's married to me.
yeah. I don't need that. But especially this year, I think people want a bit of fun this year, and I think that's the problem with this song. It's not a bop. It's not an uplifting song. It's sort of like really too intense. I don't want to say it's too French, because any country could put an intense song, and any other year, I think this would do really well. But I just think it's the wrong year for this song.
It is the wrong year for this song, but I think the intensity in it is fantastic. It's like there's so many throwaway pop songs now that you don't get any emotion or intensity. And when I first heard this, I really wasn't too keen. But then I was out walking with the headphones on, and with the headphones on, you hear it, and it's building, and it's building, and it's building, and it's absolutely fantastic. And then you watch her on the TV, and she's all smouldery and French looking and dressed like Madonna from the 1980s sort of thing, and you just look at her and you think, God, you absolute cow. I bet you just threw that together, turned up, and you look like that. And it's just you just imagine that the French do that, just go, oh, it's just something that I just threw together, and it's like, oh, but it's so intense. I like the intensity. I know you've had enough of it, and you just want to be left alone and have a nap. But I think it's fantastic.
I'm 55,
I know.
Thanks, guys. I'd just like to clear up as well. I think I said that Bim Bam Twa won Junior Eurovision last year. Obviously, it didn't. I mean, j'imagine. Whoops. Let's go to Donna. Donna, this is a really stunning song, and by all accounts, should do really well at this Eurovision, possibly win it. But France have a habit of being really high in the betting and just falling away. How do you see this going?
Well, it's already in the final, so it's already got that wonderful chance above anything else. It's going to be down to its draw, I think. Me personally, it's not one I can actually listen to much. It's up there with Russia for me. But if it's got the right draw, and I know how she performs, she can perform it so well. I mean, watching that and the France final, it was a wonderful thing to watch. Definitely not my preference of winning, but it felt like it was already a winner. The production values of it were stunning, and she wouldn't need to change anything else. It's already there. Given the right draw, though, it could do at least top 10. I don't know if I would say that she would win, because I don't think she would get that televote. I absolutely agree. It's far too stylised for me, and it'll be a Marmite song, because it's just got that dirge is what I want to say, dirge feel to it, and I always skip it. I'm not always one for a banger, obviously. I mean, I like Ermal. I like a lot of ballads, but this one does not turn for me at all. So yeah, jury, I think, Martin, that's probably a winner. But there's so many elements that could go wrong for it, so I can't see it winning.
It could potentially do a North Macedonia like they did in 2019, win the jury vote and maybe not do so well with the televote. But I guess we'll see. But I think it's fair to say, though, it should do rather well, by all accounts. But it's a weird kind of a year. I just think people's mentality would be, we need a bop this year. But let's see. Finally, Tom, what are your thoughts?
She's a really charismatic singer, isn't she? I like this song. I can see what Elliot means by her trying to overcook it, a bit like Lucy Jones, as long as she doesn't try to look like she's trying to deliver a Patronus like Lucy Jones did in part of her performance in 2017, which there was one particular thing she did, and I was just like, it looked like she was like auditioning for a Harry Potter film more than actually singing the Eurovision song, and I can't see her doing that. The one thing that irritated me about her national final performance was the way how her head just kind of went like the whole time while she was singing, and I found that really off-putting, and I think that could put an audience off as well. I agree. I think we need a banger to win this year. However, if the mood hits right, the placings hit right, and things like that, people do actually, vote for ballads. Personally, Salvador Sobral was not one of my favourites by any stretch of the imagination in 2017. I thought, to be honest, it was a bit shit. But people voted for it, surprisingly, in droves, and I still don't see the point. Which means to say they may choose to vote for France in their droves this year as well. Do I like it? Yes. Do I think it will do well? Yes. Do I think it's good enough to win? I'd prefer it if it didn't. There we go.
And there you have your 4 songs, Tom. Thank you very much.
Yeah, 4 songs done. Now, we're back on Friday night, 9 p.m. Central European Time. Back to normal timings next week. Yeah. Friday night, 9 p.m. Central European Time. Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central European Time. And we'll be going through 4 more songs on each of them. But the big thing, the big news, is 7 p.m. Central European Time. On Saturday next week, we are having a live Q&A with Go A, the Ukrainian entry. We're going to be talking about all things shum. And if you've got any questions for them, do send them in via our social media channels, put them in the chat and things like that, because this will be your chance to engage with them. And we'd love to see loads of you sat down with some snacks, maybe, sat in front of the TV, get a good takeaway in, and spend half an hour with me and the lovely Joe speaking to Go A next Saturday at 7 p.m. Central European Time. Now, aside from that, as I said at the start, don't forget to click the like and subscribe. You could be notified when all these things go live. You don't have to rely on your memory to remember. Your phone can send you a notification. Do that. Leave a comment. Let us know whether you like our content. And let us know if you don't, because that's what it's all about. It is all for you, the fans, as well. Now, that's all for tonight. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to my panel. A massive thanks to Donna.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
A big thanks to the lovely Phil and Michelle.
Thank you. It's been fun again. Bye.
It's been great. And you guys stepped in at late notice again this week. So thank you so much for doing that as well. A big thanks as well to Martin from Let Me Be the One. His radio show is 9 p.m. Central European Time, Tuesday nights on Bradley Stoke Radio. Again, stepped in at late notice tonight as well. Big thanks to you, Martin.
Yep, no problem. Have fun with Go Away. Should be a good one.
Looking forward to it. It should be awesome, actually. Really looking forward to talking to them. Also, Terry, big thanks. Fine first show. What did you think?
Well, I loved it. So nice to meet you all. Thank you very much for having me. Did I pass? Can I come again?
Of course. Anytime.
It's been lovely. Thank you very much for having me. So nice to see you all.
Hey, and it's
because I don't get out much.
Well,
nobody does, do we?
Well, no, not anymore. We just need lockdown to be over properly, don't we? Also, a massive thanks to Hayley and Matt as well. Also, JB panelists, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
A big thanks to Elliot, who's been in the chat room as well, talking to everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone in the chat room. It's been a great laugh in there with you all. Some very bold predictions are put out tonight that I can't wait to see which come true and which I'll be using in our Best Bits show as a little, like, haha, I'll be wrong. Let's be real. It's always me. But thank you.
So there'll be lots of you in the clip show.
Yeah, looking like an absolute idiot saying, oh, this will do rubbish or this will win.
Like it's a ballad.
Shut up. I'm going to get that on a t-shirt, screw it. But no, thank you for the great show, guys.
If that many predictions of yours are wrong, Elliot, we can turn his Elliot's music taste always wrong into a TV show next time round. And also a massive thanks to my co-host, the wonderful Stu.
Thanks, Tom. Looking forward to next week already. It should be a fabulous couple of nights. And good luck with interviewing Go A. I'm sure there'll be lots of fun. Make sure everybody tunes in.
Will do. It's going to be fantastic. We're back Friday night, 9 p.m. Central European Time, and we'll see you then. Other than that, it's bye for now. Bye-bye.